Hello friends. Today I wanted us to explore receptivity. So we'll work first on kind of cultivating a sense of safety, because until we feel safe and embodied, it's much harder to be open, to kind of be receptive to everything that's going around us. And of course, receptivity means opening to what is wonderful or inspiring, as well as what is challenging. So let's begin. In whatever pose is comfortable for you, you can be cross-legged or on the knees. Or as well, you can lie down into constructive rest, because we'll join you there just now. So the eyes can be in a soft gaze, just taking in the kind of panorama of your space. And feeling the points of contact with the earth beneath you. And one of the ways we become receptive is by really tuning into the senses. So first of all, we can explore the sense of touch. Maybe feeling where your hands are resting on your legs or in your lap. The temperature of the hands, the texture. Feeling the clothing against the skin, the temperature of the air. Just noticing what is touching us. Allowing ourselves to be touched. And then opening the ears to the outer world, and also listening with the whole body. As the world gets quieter, we start to notice the more subtle sounds, as well as the familiar, the louder, the sounds from within our own body. And tuning into the senses of smell and taste. Such powerful senses that often transport us to different worlds. Feeling what's here with you right now in this world. And of course, the sense of sight. So maybe the eyes are closed and you can see light playing on the back of the eyelids. Or if the eyes are in a soft gaze, noticing colors and textures, shapes, images. Allowing them to fill our awareness. Receiving everything that's here. When we're facing difficulties, we tend to become more myopic. We focus only on that difficulty, and we lose touch with everything that's around us. So this practice invites us to reopen. There may be places of soreness in the body, At the same time, we can be receptive to what feels open and nourishing and allow those places to sustain us. So bringing hands together at the heart for your intention. What would you like to be receptive to today? Is there a particular value, like kindness or love or compassion, that may help you at this time? And by tuning in, we can receive it from nature, perhaps, from the voice of others, and also from within ourselves. And whatever we receive, we can offer out. So let's lift the arms up into the sky, just opening them, feeling that sense of the heart opening. And then bringing the arms down parallel with the earth and lifting the fingertips. You'll probably notice quite deep achiness through the underside of the arms as we stretch into the fascia. And then clenching the hands and taking the wrists down like pouring a cup of tea. And then lifting up again, opening the hands. And pouring down, just feeling that stretchy achiness that links the hands with the arms and into the neck and the head. One more time. And pouring down. And then let the hands be neutral and take little circles in the shoulders. I've been exploring a lot with hips and shoulders of late, just really kind of gathering attention into the torso and those major joint sites. But today we'll also play a little with the toes, the ankles, the neck. Change direction with your circles. Your arms may be talking to you already. So get a sense of receptivity to something that's not so comfortable. And yet, of course, once it's over, we can find an appreciative receptivity. So bringing fingertips onto the shoulders now, that may already be a little bit of a relief. And then drawing big circles with the elbows, just letting the heart open. And other direction. Just feeling whatever you feel. There may also be sounds. Remember, we're listening inwards. There may be crackles and crunches as the shoulders and the neck start to free themselves, kind of defrost. And then releasing the hands. And coming down now onto constructive rest. So just keeping the knees bent and lowering yourself down very slowly onto the floor. And the idea with constructive rest is the hip flexors can relax completely. So we can either do this by dropping knees towards each other, or it can also be nice sometimes if you're holding this pose for longer, just to have a little blanket so that the knees can open hip distance apart, but be held. So always exploring ways of finding a sense of safety, of care, and then from there we can explore, we can move, we can open. So let's take the somatic cat stretches that help to awaken the body and connect it with the brain. So starting with undulations where we arch into the lower back, pushing the pubic bone forward towards the toes, and then on the exhale, scooping the tailbone under, pulling the navel down towards the spine. And just gently rocking back and forth, linking with the breath. Just twice more. And then release, soften everything. Just sensing the back body as it connects with the earth. Can it spread a little bit? And sensing the front body. Our three major places of openness, the belly, the heart, and the throat. Just allowing them to open. And then bringing hands behind the head. We're going to take the same undulation with the spine. Inhale and arch the back. And then as you exhale, draw the head and the neck up. Inhale back. And arch. Exhale. Curling inwards. You may hear the spine pop and crackle. Again, just twice more, linking with your breath, slowing down your breathing rhythm, so that you're also sensing the passage of air, that kind of internal stroking that also supports us in a sense of internal safety. And once again, releasing, softening, maybe hands on the belly, just to feel that gentle, natural breathing rhythm. Letting the body breathe for us. And then drawing the right knee into the chest, letting the left leg straighten out. To start with, we're going to push the knee into the hand, so just activate. You'll feel the hip flexors awakening, coming online. Pushing away and then gently squeezing in. Push away once more. You may feel the glutes get involved. And then squeeze in. And a third time. Just waking up these deep inner muscles that often get very tight. Particularly if we're feeling uncomfortable, if we're facing the unknown. That's very often where we tighten. So now keeping that right hand held with the right leg held with the right hand, you can bring the left hand behind the head. And then inhale, arch the lower back, the knee will pull away. And exhale, squeezing in and crossing the body, elbow to knee. And the left leg as well can lift off the ground just to be active. Inhale back, the left leg drops, the back arches, the knee moves away, and then squeezing everything in together. Connecting left and right sides of the body. And once again, releasing constructive rest. Feeling the back body spreading. The feet connecting with the earth. We're often so aware of what's in front of us, but we also get sensation in the back, our intuition, if you like. So bringing the left knee in now. The right leg can straighten and push that left knee against the hands. Really activate deep into the hip crease and then squeezing it in. Twice more. Squeeze and hold it there with the left hand now as the right hand comes behind the back of the head. And then once again undulating, arching the spine, and then drawing in. The right leg can float off the ground as you cross the midline. Inhale back. Arch. Exhale, squeeze. Feel that slow breathing rhythm linked to the movements of the body. Another way of cultivating a deep internal sense of safety. Taking your last one. And release. Constructive rest. Spreading the back body, relaxing the legs and the face. Allowing the belly, the heart, the throat to open. And then rolling the chin into the chest, reaching forward. You may want to hold behind the thighs and then gently rock and roll. Massaging the spine, but taking care. Sometimes the lower back can feel very vulnerable, especially if we've been sitting. And then coming up into Dandasana, the staff pose where the spine is straight. And we'll just do a little playful experiment here. Just lean your head back, just to the first point where you feel a sensation, and fix your eyes onto a point above you. So just notice where your eyes are able to go and connect. And then release. And then let's play first of all with the left toe. So imagine you're holding a pencil underneath the toes and you're squeezing it. And you'll notice as you pull the toes back, the knee bends. So we're just waking up the toes and the ankle and the knee. And then on the other side, the right foot, just spreading the toes as they go back down and then clasping onto that imaginary pencil. And again, as you listen, there may be all sorts of crackles and pops and crunches. We don't always bring much attention down to the feet. So let's take both together. And then this is the experimental part. Now lean back once again and just notice whether your neck has released at all. Are you able to connect your eyes with a further point? I find it fascinating that toes, ankles, all the feet are connected with the neck. The same way as I mentioned in the other class that hips and shoulders are connected. So if we bring openness to one place, another part instinctively opens. So let's cross the ankles and come onto hands and knees. So our same undulations. I don't think I would ever offer a class without undulations. They just so help to lubricate the spine, bring that sense of ease and flow into the inner body. And when our body is feeling fluid and mobile, of course we feel safer. We feel more willing to connect within. And then we're able to be more receptive. So coming back into child's pose. And in child's pose, we can also just feel the lower back spreading a little. So using the same principle as we did by hugging in the knee, we'll squeeze the knees towards each other. Feel that sense of activation. And then let them spread and open. Just see if the sacrum and the sits bones can soften a little. Squeezing the knees in once again. And open. And a third time, just gently squeezing. Imagine you've got a block between the knees that you must hold on to. Feel the sits bones broadening a little. And spread. And then gently shifting forward, tucking toes. Coming into our first downward dog, knees deeply bent. Broad across the shoulders as you squeeze the forearms towards each other. Just that same principle as we did with the knees. We squeeze one end to open the other like a fulcrum. And of course you can walk out the heels, just gently lengthening through the calves and the hamstrings, allowing the body to warm up in a very conscious way. So we've explored the neck and the feet. We're starting to open the shoulders and the hips. And the more open we feel, the more the mind is also able to receive. So coming high up on the toes and really hinge like a pike dive. So really draw the hip creases up and back, shifting your weight towards the feet, and then letting the heels come down just to where they're willing. Be very sensitive here. Where is our first edge? Just stopping there, take a breath, and then maybe the second edge. When we stop, when we acknowledge the body and its need to feel safe, then it's often more trusting and it works with us. Just finding your edge, your downward facing dog. And whenever you need to bend the knees, just allow the body that option. And then lifting the gaze and taking a little stroll to the front of the mat. The feet can be hip distance apart or big toes can be together, whatever's comfortable for you. And then inhale, swing the heart out in front. Pull the shoulder blades back. Exhale, fold. And then pushing down to come up. We'll take a little sequence that warms up the shoulders and the thighs. So let's begin in Samastitihi, hands at the heart. Maybe bringing back to mind your intention, the value that you're opening to today. And then reaching hands up into the sky. Just really imagine the arms begin at the waist and you're lengthening all the way from the waist up to the fingertips. The hands can open a little. And then rolling the shoulders back, opening them wide, this big swallow dive, all the way down to the ground. Bend deep into the knees, the hands are going to interlace behind the sacrum, and then gently pulling them back. So see where the shoulders are willing to go. The palms can be open, later on we can squeeze them together. But just be playful here, experiment into the shoulders. And then bending deep into the knees, you're going to bring the hands back down to the sacrum, release them, sweep the fingertips along the earth, and come into that thigh-warming Utkatasana. It's really awakening these big, strong muscles in the body. And then straightening up. Palms down the midline, back to the heart. Our place of intention and receptivity. And once again, inhale, arms up and overhead. Maybe a micro back bend, but make sure it feels long. The waist is the link to the fingertips. And then roll the shoulders back and down. Bend deep into the knees as the hands clasp behind. Maybe the other finger in front. Just feel how that feels. And pull the shoulders away from you. Bowing in as much as your body allows. And then gently releasing the hands back to the sacrum. Releasing the fingers. Sweeping fingertips against the earth, coming into Utkatasana one more time. Just drawing the hips back, pulling the tailbone down so that the sacrum is lengthening. And then straightening up. Palms together, down the midline. Just checking in with your breath, the rhythm of the heart. Listening with ears and whole body. And our final time, reach up into the sky. Lift from the waist. Roll the shoulders back. Forward bend. Interlace fingers. Pull the arms away from you. Squeeze into the shoulders. And then release. Fingertips along the earth. Root to rise. And then palms come into touch. And down midline. And we'll take this as our beginning sequence. And then move into our sun salute. So hands are rising up overhead. Rolling the shoulders back. This time we don't clasp, we just bring them to the earth. We draw the heart forward. And then stepping the right leg back into a lunge. Keep the thighs strong. If you have vulnerable knees, you may like to have a blanket just down where the knees are going to go. And then place that right knee on the ground. You can keep those toes tucked behind and push down to come up. Let the arms float into the sky. Once again, just remembering that the sensation is from the waist up. So we're not bowing forward yet or leaning into the knees. The knees are at right angles. We're pulling the tailbone down. Feel the sensation in the front of that right hip. And then from the waist, reaching up, the gaze can lift too. And then maybe just opening the arms a little, a sense of the heart opening. The arms come all the way back, just as we did before. A big circle in the shoulders. And then hands come down to the earth. And step back, downward facing dog. Breathing in and releasing that breath in a gentle cascade of water. Imagining a waterfall from the tailbone all the way down the spine as the breath releases. And then gently floating forward into plank. The knees can come down, and then the chin and the chest. And bringing the hands wide of your mat on your fingertips. Just pressing down to come up. So nice and open into the shoulders here. And then gently bring the right shoulder down. So your gaze to the left. And then coming up. And then the left shoulder down, gaze to the right. Just feel that little twist in the spine and the opening into the shoulders. Once again, right shoulder down, gaze to the left. Pushing down to come up. And the left shoulder. And coming up. And the palms can come flat. And the forearms in front of you for a Sphinx pose. So putting the elbows back towards your body, feel how the spine lengthens. And then gently opening the heart. Receiving whatever you need to receive. Either staying here or lifting the elbows, just to find a slightly deeper back bend, but make sure it's within your range. And then lengthening yourself onto the ground, hands underneath the face as a pillow. And once again, tuning into the back body. Can you feel the breath rising up the back body, expanding through the back of the heart into the shoulder blades? And then hands come under the shoulders. Tucking the toes, activate the thighs, pull up on the kneecaps, activate lower abdomen and push down to come up. And finding downward facing dog. Breathing in, breathing out. Taking your gaze forward and the right foot steps forward between the hands. The left knee comes down and push down to come up. So finding your right angles, this strong pose, this place where we're safe, where we're really using the core to hold us steady. Imagine an invisible midline as well between the legs, just to squeeze inwards and pull the tailbone down. And then once your lower body feels safe, let the arms rise. Right from the waist upwards, let the gaze lift. And then gently into openness. Expanding in the heart. The arms come all the way wide and back. And then touching the earth, either side of your front foot. Tuck the toes of the back foot and take your giant moon step forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Completing with our Utkatasana, fingertips sweep as we bend the knees, sitting back in the armchair. And then gently rooting down to lengthen upwards. Palms come into touch and down the midline. Breathing in, breathing out. Reach the hands up overhead. Rolling the shoulders back and down. Forward bend. Inhale, flat back. If you like to, bring the hands behind you, pull the shoulders back, like a little aeroplane. And then release. Lifting the heart. This time let's take the left leg back and place it on the earth. You can keep the toes tucked, push down to come up. And then let's bring the arms out to the side. Interlace them behind the back. Pulling down and away, just feel the heart open. And as we did in the other class, just bring the hands into the right waist so that you feel there's something there supporting you in the lower back and also into the waist. And then gently lean over towards the hands. So leaning to the right. So this sets up a long stretch right from the femur bone through the pelvis right into the spine. That deep hip flexor. And then coming back up. Let's take this into a twist. So bring the arms back out and gently turning, opening. Left hand towards left foot, right arm in front. Bringing that right hand to the right knee and gently slide the back hand down the back leg. Maybe onto the calf. And reach the upper arm. Feel that sense of opening. And then release. Hands down to the earth. Downward facing dog. Take a moment, 2 deep breaths here, just adjusting your pose as you need to. The knees bent or legs straight. The forearms squeezing in to broaden the shoulders. And then with that same inward squeeze, we draw the heart forward, keeping the elbows nice and close as we lower to the ground. Rolling the shoulders back, finding your cobra pose. Whatever that looks like this morning. Feeling the heart open as the shoulders draw back and down. And then release. Pushing back into child's pose this time. Draw the lower abdomen back. And feel the shoulders now stretching out. Reaching all the way forward. And softening the face and the jaw. Sensing into the back body. And then downward facing dog. This time the left leg floats up and steps forward between the hands. So we're down on the right knee. The back toes again can stay tucked or they can flatten, whatever feels comfortable for you. Pull the tailbone down. Feel that stretch through the front thigh and squeeze the inner thighs towards an invisible midline. Bring the arms wide to the side. Just stretch them out. Feel that opening through the top of the shoulders. And then clasp the hands behind the back, pulling them down a little, opening into the heart. And then bring the hands into the left waist, so that we have something to lean on. And you'll probably feel a stretch through the shoulder as well. So find your balance, your steadiness. Just let that psoas, that deep hip flexor, have a really good long stretch. And then gently release, the arms wide again. And then now turning to the open side, so the left arm reaching forward, the right arm reaching back. And if you like to, slide the back hand down the back leg, maybe onto the calf, and let the top arm reach up into the sky. It may be wobbly, that's okay. We're receptive to everything. And then release. Hands to the earth, lifting the back knee and that giant moon step forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Fingertips sweep from back to front, finding your Utkatasana. Nice and strong. Feel how the muscles are safer when they're hugged against the bones. And then gently standing up, palms into touch, and down the midline. Breathing in, breathing out. And releasing the hands to the thighs, our mountain pose. And sensing now into the feet and the neck, into the hips and the shoulders. And direct the breath to whichever part of the body is calling for attention. Or spread the breath through the whole body. Our breath is like an inner ear, listening and responding. And once again, arms float skyward. And swallow down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, right leg back into lunge, knee comes down. This time keep the right hand down as you gently lift the left hand up. So our twist in the other direction, but supported by the earth here. And really push the right hand into the earth as you lift and open the heart, as you lift that left hand skywards. If you like to, turn the palm to face behind you and then draw it behind the back. And just feel how that feels to kind of be supported by the forearms. See if it allows you to open just a little more. Breathing in, breathing out. And then release both hands to the floor once again and root down to rise up. Starting with our square shape, that's where it's safe, supported. But then let's move forward a little bit, still pulling that back foot, the back knee forward and the front foot back so that you feel held in place, and then lift and open the heart. This beautiful expansive pose. And release. Hands to the earth. Downward facing dog. Crouching tiger if you prefer, just to shift the weight onto the back feet. And then floating forward into plank. Lowering down. Rolling shoulders back for cobra. And then pushing back into child's pose. Take a moment to connect with the belly and allow that awareness to move into the sacrum, into the spine, into the back of the heart. And then sitting back on the heels. So we've opened the shoulders a lot in one direction. Let's broaden them now. So arms come wide. And then bring the right arm under the left. So you can either hug here, bringing hands on the shoulders, or if you have more space, you can twine the arms around each other. And then feel that opening into the back body. You can even pull the navel in and really exaggerate that stretch through the back of the shoulders. Then inhale, lift the elbows up. Exhale, pull the navel in, kind of opening quite consciously. Inhale, lift and expand. And the final time, pulling in. And then come to neutral, untwist. Take the arms wide once again and really stretch them out. And just as we did at the start, lift the fingers. How are they feeling now? Is there a little more ease? Clasp the hands over the thumbs and pour down. Again, how is this feeling now? And then neutral hands, left arm under the right. Either that hug or twining the hands around. And then again, just playful here. We can draw the belly back to the spine, really open through the back of the heart. And then lifting the elbows up, lifting the gaze, and then closing in. Inhale up. And last round. Just feeling these less common movements. And gently untwine, arms reach out, fingers shoot magic spells. And come back into downward facing dog. Breathing in. Breathing out. As we finish up this sequence, bringing the right foot forward between the hands. The knee comes down. The toes can stay tucked or flat, the left hand staying on the ground as the right arm opens up into that twist. And each time just noticing how the shoulders feel. So to keep the lower body stable, we pull the back knee forward, the front foot back. And then if you like to, turn the top palm behind you, bring the arm behind the lower back and holding the waist. And just seeing if that allows a slightly deeper twist. When we feel safer, we can open more. And release. Both hands down. Once again, finding our very steady orientation with the legs. This right angle is the safest that we can find. And then move into a deeper variation. Just bending into that front knee as much as it allows and letting the arms come up and then open. This pose of receptivity. And release. Hands down to the ground. Back foot steps forwards. Fingertips sweep. Our last Utkatasana. Let's make it count. Sitting deep. Tailbone scooping under. Check if you can see the toes. Maybe even lifting those toes as the way we did before, just to free the neck. And then maybe lifting the gaze. And straightening up. The arms can come wide and down, next to the thighs. Can you hear your heartbeat? Can you listen inwards to that gentle flow of the breath, like a breeze moving through the body? And then one more time, arms lift into the sky. And swallow dive down to the earth. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step one leg and then the other back into downward facing dog. And then bringing both knees down. Sitting back on the heels. So we're going to go into Parigasana, the gate pose. I'll face forward now so that you can see, and we'll work mirror image. So you're going to come up on the knees and let your right knee hold you as you bring your left leg out. Now find what's stable. Some people can take it straight out, but I prefer to have it a little bit on an angle, just so that you can feel the body held. So bring the hands to the hips for now. And then take the arms wide, just as we've been doing the last couple of practices. Interlace those hands behind the back. Pulling them down, open the heart. And then bring the hands into your left waist. So once again, we have something to lean onto. So we're just leaning towards that left leg. Beautiful. Feel safe as you explore your edge. And then if you like to, just free the hands. Let your left hand slide down that left leg. You may find you can open the heart a little bit more up towards the sky. And then let your right arm join in. So it might reach up vertically to start with, and then it might reach over, just so you get that long, long stretch through the side body. And checking in, how does it feel? And then let that top arm lift you up. Bring it down onto the ground. You may want to be on spiky fingers, or maybe resting onto a block or a cushion. And then let your left arm reach up and over. So it's a bit like a wild thing. We can turn the heart to face the sky. Feel that stretch right from the toes to the fingers, moving through all the joints that we've freed up this morning. And then return back to neutral, both knees on the earth. So now it's your left knee that will ground you, and your right foot come out on your mat or just a little bit at an angle, just so you can feel steady. So you really want to pull out of the standing leg so it feels really strong and supportive. Then take the arms wide once again, interlace the fingers, maybe the other finger in front if you can remember. Pull the hands down, lift and open the heart. And then bring the hands into your right waist. And with something to lean on, just explore how far is the body willing to go, while still feeling that it trusts your intention. A body that trusts moves much deeper in the long run than one that feels unsafe. So free your hands, you can still keep that arm behind the waist, and then slide your right hand down your right leg. Just feel how that feels, whether you can open the chest a little up to the sky. It may be sore across the shoulder, just no forcing. Then we can free the arm up into the sky. Find that long length through the side waist and then increase it. One side may feel quite different from the other, that's normal. And then let's take our wild thing variation, where we come on pointy fingers on the earth. There may be a little moment of trust where we just have to drop down onto the ground and then reach that top arm up and open the heart. Fully receptive to whatever the day brings. And release. Back onto both knees. And then sitting back on the heels. Take a moment just to melt. Imagine the skin, the muscles draping over the bones, a sense of release in the jaw and the shoulders, all the way down the body. And then bring your hips to one side so that you can return once again into constructive rest pose. So we haven't done that much abdominal work today, but we really need it for lowering down. So let's lower, engage the abdominals, and then draw up. This helps us do abdominal work and the undulations. It's one of the sequences that I never want to miss out on in a yoga practice. And then coming all the way down. Bringing the heels close to the buttocks, feet hip distance apart. Another pose that's known for openness, for receptivity, is our bridge pose. So gently pushing the feet down as the hips float up. And then release. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Inhale a little higher. Exhale, release. And then this time we'll hold it just in the way we've been doing. We're going to interlace the fingers. Draw the shoulder blades towards each other. Walk them in. And then
push down the whole of the arm, push down the feet, and find this expansive bridge pose. Heart open, belly open. Throat closed for now as the chin comes into the chest, but just know that we're opening through the back of the neck. As you push down, can you rise up a millimeter more? And then very gently release. Let the shoulders broaden and flatten, let the tailbone come to the heels so that you lengthen into the spine as you descend. Keep the feet on the ground. Our tendency is often to want to hug in. Just let any sensation dissolve away now on its own. And walk the feet, the little toes, to the edge of your mat. You may want to caterpillar back a little bit, just so there's more space between the heels and the buttocks. And then bringing the arms nice and wide, we're going to windscreen wiper, just to twist out any little crackly, crunchy places in the spine that often accumulate when we do some side and back bends. So just gently side to side, feeling whatever you feel. And then our final receptive pose where the hips are wide open. We're going to come into happy baby. So allow it just to be the level that's comfortable for you. You can hold on to the shins, the ankles or the big toes. Take the knees towards the armpits. And to start with, really push the feet up into the hands so that the sacrum flattens, so that we really find the whole of the spine on the ground. Even bringing the chin into the chest a little bit, imagining that the back of the neck will flatten too. So pushing up as we've been doing in other poses, and then softening and opening. Pushing up, flattening everything onto the earth. Feel that sense of safety that comes with connection. And then open. More vulnerable perhaps, more receptive. One last time, pushing up and soften. Finding your happy baby, playing with the toes. Finding the wonder of what in later life feels ordinary. You may even want to just pull the toes a little bit, massage them, warm them up. They often get a bit cold out at the ends of our feet. And then bringing the soles of the feet together. So we're going to set up for Shavasana, but you're welcome to have a few breaths in Supta Baddha Konasana, where the soles of the feet are together, the knees opening wide, another lovely receptive pose. Maybe even taking the arms up overhead, just feeling that willingness to open to whatever life brings. And if you have a blanket nearby, just making sure you're warm and cozy. And once again, feeling how the earth is always there for us. Something to be our touchstone, to rest upon, to be that steadiness, whilst the rest of the world seems to just open in unexpected ways. But touching the earth, we can find a sense of steadiness within. If you find the mind wandering, you may want to just connect your attention with the heart center and the gentle rising and falling of the breath there. That sense of opening to the unknown from a place of internal safety. And taking 3 more heart breaths. And when you're ready, wiggling toes and fingers. Wrists and ankles, and rolling to whichever side beckons you. Making a little pillow with the hands. And coming up to end the way we began, in our seated pose or on the knees if that's more comfortable for your body. And before our dedication, just checking in. How does the body feel now? Having had an hour of conscious attention, caring attention, moving through all the joints, the muscles, the bones, the organs of the body. And also checking in, how is the mind and the heart? Are they able today to be more receptive and open to what the day may hold? So let's offer our dedication, bringing into our minds and hearts those who may feel a little closed off,
less comfortable with opening into life the way life unfolds. So we'll offer to all others on the sound of an Om, beginning with a deep inhale and a sigh. Inhale. And a gentle release as the hands once again connect to the heart, reminding us to stay open and to receive. Namaste.